everybody's getting down.
No, when I met you, your hair was just like 5 months. So it was North Carolina. Yeah, when that first time.
Okay, let's get started.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Shauna. I am the Cushing's division rep. I'll be helping out with hypothyroidism and growth hormone today too and tomorrow. Just want to introduce Dr. Theodore Friedman, who's going to be doing a presentation on lifestyle medicine for endocrine problems, which we all are familiar with.
Okay.
Any questions, come see me. Feel free to reach out to me.
Okay, thank you so much. Good to see everybody. We're very happy to be part of the Magic's 30th annual Magic Foundation Convention. We're talking about lifestyle medicine for endocrine problems. This is a new exciting talk. I think you'll like this. The outline today is survey of health. What is lifestyle medicine? Why is it important for endocrine patients to optimize their lifestyle? What are the 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine? Nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress reduction, good relationships, and avoiding risky behaviors are the 6 pillars. We'll talk about blue zones, and then we'll close by talking about lifestyle medicine for osteoporosis, and then we're going to do some exercise with my colleague in Los Angeles, Dr. Evelyn Martinez. Why don't you guys have your handouts? Maybe you guys can start answering some of these questions here on your handout. Take about 2 minutes to answer it.
I can't read this at all.
I
can't either. Yeah, too small.
Okay, too small. Okay, so you can like just make some notes on your thing there. Is this focused well or?
No.
No, on this screen here. Okay. Okay, the people that can see it started looking at. Okay. We need a couple more minutes, or you guys are okay?
Thank you so much. It's blurry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we could circle your overall level of health, very poor to excellent. Over the last 2 weeks, how many hours of sleep did you average in the 24-hour period? Less than 4, 4 to 5, 6 hours, 7 to 8, or 9 hours more. Over the last 2 weeks, how often do you feel tired or having difficulty staying awake during routine tasks in the day? Not at all, several days, more than half the days, or nearly every day. Question number 4, what do you think of your current weight? I want to gain a lot of weight. I want to gain a little weight. I'm happy with my weight. I want to lose a little weight, or I want to lose a lot of weight. Nutrition. Over the last 2 weeks, how often have you eaten fast foods, sugary drinks like soda, sports drinks, or juice, packaged foods like chips, candy, crackers, cookies? Not at all, several days, more than half the days, nearly every day. On an average day, how many servings of whole fruits and vegetables do you eat? 1 serving is about a handful and does not include fruit juice. Less than 2 servings, 2 to 3, 4 to 5, more than 5 servings. Exercise. Over the last 2 weeks, how many days do you exercise at a moderate to strenuous intensity, i.e. brisk walking or enough movement to break a light sweat? Less than 1 time per week, 1 to 2 times per week, 3 to 4 times per week, or 5 times or more per week. During an average session, how many minutes do you exercise at a moderate to strenuous intensity, brisk walking or enough movement to break a light sweat? Less than 10 minutes, 10 to 29 minutes, 30 to 49 minutes, and 50 minutes or more. What do you guys think? Are you guys doing okay in your health, or got a ways to work? Ways to work. Nice. Hopefully today will inspire you to start that. And then similar kind of questions here. Maybe this is too small to read here. Where you are on the scales of 1 to 5, with 1 being miserable and 5 being great. Physical well-being, mental or emotional well-being, and life. How is it to live your daily life? What do you live for? What matters for you? Think about that. Now that you thought, what is matters to you in these areas. What is your vision of your best possible self? What would your self look like? What kind of activities would you be doing? Are there any areas you'd like to work on? Where might you start? Good questions to think about. We'll skip this one here. Health means the absence of both physical and mental disease. Wellness, on the other hand, is the state of living a healthy lifestyle. We want people to have wellness and health. What is the difference between diet and lifestyle changes? Any takers?
I don't believe in diets.
Okay, why
It's
not?
gotta be a lifestyle change.
Okay, what's the difference?
A diet is something that's restrictive and, you know, you gotta live your life.
Okay, good.
Short term.
Short term.
You make all these crazy changes. I knew someone personally in the family, one husband who's doing all these crazy lifestyle changes just to get his A1C under a certain amount for
Mhm.
blood work, and then he'll go off and he'll be his work and go to all the units and eat all the sugary candy
Mhm.
on all the floors.
Okay.
After he does his
So what's a lifestyle change?
lifestyle change. Good dog.
Okay.
Right, moderate.
Any other takers? What a lifestyle change is?
Developing good habits.
Good habits. Okay, good. So the main difference is a lifestyle change is long-term, not a quick fix. Like we said, you're not just trying to lose 10 pounds the next couple of days, and then you go back to your old habits. Long-term quick fix, not a quick fix. These include eating better, exercising more, and joining the Magic Foundation. These are long-term events that are good for people. And, again, not just a couple of days, stick with it. So my approach on getting patients to be healthy is to diagnose and treat any endocrine problems such as hypothyroidism, adrenal insufficiency, or triple adrenal insufficiency, or tertiary adrenal insufficiency, Cushing syndrome, growth hormone deficiencies. These lead to symptoms such as weight gain and fatigue. But as a result of endocrine conditions, many of the patients are overweight and feel like crap. So I work on optimizing hormones, and then I encourage people to consume a low-calorie diet. I often recommend my vegetable diet with eating a lot of vegetables. They're low in calories, as have a lot of nutrition. And also I encourage people to move the best they can. The more, the better. Get a good night's sleep, have good mental health, avoid stress, or at least don't let stress bother you. Everybody has some stress in their life, but don't let it get you down. And be outside, try to hike, be in nature, and we'll talk about the blue zones, learn from the blue zones. So the 3 pillars of endocrine health: get the correct diagnosis, optimize your hormones, optimize lifestyle. Lifestyle medicine is a medical subspecialty that uses therapeutic lifestyle interventions, such as a primary modality to treat chronic diseases, including cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and obesity. Lifestyle medicine certified clinicians are trained to apply evidence-based whole person prescription lifestyle changes to treat, and when used intensively, often reverse conditions. So these are doctors, and I'm not certified in it, but I've been to several lifestyle medicine conferences, and I'm a big believer in it. Less than 3% of Americans live a healthy life. Statistics from the Mayo Clinic study. They looked at 4,745 patients, and only 3% had these 4 qualifications. They do moderate or vigorous exercise for at least 150 minutes a week. Their diet score is in the top 40% of the healthy eating index. Their body fat is under 20% for men or 30% for women, and they don't smoke. I don't know if anybody fits into this category in this room here, but not too many Americans do, but people should try to aim for this. 85% of Americans do not eat enough fruits and vegetables, although they say they do. 75% of Americans say they eat healthy, despite evidence to the contrary. According to the dietary guidelines for Americans, about 90% of the US population does not meet the requirements for vegetables, and 80% consume too little fruit. So most Americans think they're healthy, but they're not. So we're going to talk about the 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine, especially plant-based eating. So the 6 pillars are up here: physical activity, healthy eating, avoiding risky substances like tobacco, sleeping better, having good relationship, and managing stress. And I'll talk about all these pillars today. Pillar number 1, healthful eating of whole plant-based food. WFPB, whole food plant-based diet. So these are single ingredients foods that grow in the ground, that grow on trees, that grow in bushes, berries, and lots of produce here. They're not things that have a multiple listing of ingredients that you can't pronounce, things that are, a bunch of chemicals, a bunch of preservatives. And you should get, ideally, 95% of your calories should come from fruits, vegetables, whole grains, or legumes. Several studies have shown benefit of a whole food plant-based diet. This includes mood, psychological wellness, energy levels, memory, cognitive function, sleep, acne, hormone balance, psychological well-being, sexual well-being, less menstrual pain, and disease prevention. Some of the diseases that a whole food plant-based diet can address and hopefully overcome: heart disease, kidney disease, autoimmune diseases, irritable bowel syndrome, lupus, high cholesterol, hyper blood pressure, cancer, dementia, and Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, diabetic neuropathy, weight management, asthma, migraines, erectile dysfunction, fibromyalgia, and can help with overall morbidity and mortality. So some of the power of plants include they have antioxidants. They help with extra free radicals. They by donating an electron, they slow the aging process. They lower cholesterol. They decrease the risk of atherosclerosis. They slow Alzheimer's disease. They decrease the chance of developing cancers, and they reduce the damage caused by cigarette smoke. So they have antioxidant, anti-inflammatory properties, and they help your gut bacteria be better. You have your choice at the top or the bottom. Whole food plant-based diet emphasizes fiber. The fiber is in plant foods. It's not in animal foods. It's associated with a lower rate of cancer, chronic diseases, and helps facilitate weight. When you eat mostly plants that have fiber in them, you get full easier. It helps prevent some of the sugars from going into your cells, and you feel healthy. You can eat less and lose weight. It has a lot of water. Water is crucial for the body. It helps with immune, endocrine, cardiovascular, neural, gastrointestinal, muscle, and skeletal functions. Plant foods are rich in water, and they have antioxidants and phytonutrients. These are abundant in plant foods. They slow aging, reduce inflammation in the body, and help protect against diseases, especially cancers and heart disease. So I have my vegetable diet. It's on my website. I've been pushing this for maybe 15 years at least. You go to conferences and they all talk about low fat, low carbs, intermittent fasting, but everybody agrees that vegetables are the best. I don't think there's any controversy. The more vegetables you eat, the better. Vegetables have a lot of nutrition and little calories. You can basically eat as much vegetables as you want, except for corn and potatoes. So corn and potatoes are starches. I don't consider them vegetables, but all the other vegetables, you can eat as much as you want. Asparagus, green beans, and broccoli, things like that. They have a lot of fiber. You can obviously get fresh vegetables. You go to your farmer's market, you go to your grocery store, but a lot of people find that they just put them there, sit in the refrigerator, they go bad. You're too lazy to wash them, to cut them up. So if that's your case, do frozen vegetables. Frozen vegetables, you get in a big bag for about $5, microwave them, saute them, steam them. You can get canned vegetables. You can blend your vegetables. The difference between blending and juicing. Juicing, you get rid of drink the liquid, you get rid of the salt. The salt's the best part. So I recommend blending. You can get a blender. And I also like putting things in soups. I eat a lot of soups. Soups, you get the liquid plus the vegetables. You can add a little small amount of grains or a small amount of some type of protein, but that's another good way to get your vegetables. Whole grains have fiber in them. It's been linked to a lower risk of diabetes. It improves your glucose response, increases your satiety. It has less caloric density. And for every 14 grams of fiber added, your overall caloric intake decreases by about 10 to 18%. So people usually eat less and they feel better when they eat things with fiber. You can see some of the fiber in here. The berries are very high in fiber and high in antioxidants. The apple with the skin, the oatmeal, the nuts, things like that. So this is a healthful plant-based eating plate. You notice you're drinking water, you're not drinking soda. Half the plate is fruits and vegetables. You can see all the fruits: starfish, starfruit, broccoli, berries, carrots, cucumber, chard, apples, beets, kiwi, peas, tomatoes, onions, red onions, oranges, peppers, and greens or collard greens. Then you have your plant proteins. They can be about a quarter of your plate. Things like garbanzo beans, quinoa, nuts, seeds, tempeh. Your plant fats should be a small percentage of your plate. Avocados, nuts, seeds, plant oils, rich in unsaturated fats. And your whole grains, again, another quarter of your plate. Whole grains would include brown rice, oats, quinoa, barley, whole wheat, wild rice, millet, farro, bulgur, corn, things like that. So that would be about a quarter of your plate. You know, I'm not saying everybody should be vegan. If you want to have some chicken and some fish on your plate, that should be about a quarter, but this is a plant-based plate. So I tell my patients the first thing they should do to improve their health is stop drinking sodas. I think sodas are one of the nastiest things out there. You can see the equivalent of the sugars in them. I'll explain why I say equivalent. Your glass of Coke has 22 packets of sugar in it. It did have sugar, which it doesn't. The cubes, about half, 2/3 of it's filled with cubes of sugar. However, in the United States, Coke and the other drinks have high fructose corn syrup. They don't have sugar in it. High fructose corn syrup is even worse because it doesn't fill you up. It actually makes you hungrier. Mexico, the Coke has sugar. It's probably a little bit better. It's not great, but it doesn't have the high fructose corn syrup in it. So do we think Coca-Cola is a great American company? You know, about 2 years ago, my meeting, the Endocrine Society was in Atlanta. I made a point not to go to the Coca-Cola museum right around the block from the convention center. But a lot of people did. I think it's really a horrible company. You can see the different sizes of sodas. In 1955, there was a 10-ounce soda. In 1915, there was a 6.5 ounces. Each year's gotten bigger. And then now you have the Thirst Buster, which has 44 ounces. The Coke can has 12 ounces. It has 150 calories. So if you drink 1 can of Coke a day, you'll gain 16 pounds. If you stop drinking that 1 can of Coke a day, you'll lose 16 pounds. If you drink that Thirst Buster a day, you'll gain 57 pounds. Stop drinking it, you'll lose 57 pounds. And the reason is, you know, when you drink things, eat most foods, drink sodas that have some sugar in it, you're less hungry for other things. When you drink things with high fructose corn syrup in it, you're more hungry. Studies have found that they put people like in a cafeteria line, they eat more food if they drink a Coke before that. It also has salt and caffeine. The caffeine is a diuretic. It leads to dehydration and thirst. You drink more, you don't drink less. It doesn't even solve your thirst. You know, say Thirst Busters, it says, you know, Thirst Busters right there, but it doesn't even solve your thirst. Studies have found. It just makes you thirstier. So I would really try to avoid sodas. What should you drink instead? Water, water, water. We have one water. Do you have iced tea there? Is that iced tea?
Yes.
Okay, good. What do you got there? Okay, that's not bad. Okay. We got some coffees here.
No, I got water.
You got water? Okay, yeah. Water, good. We'll talk about it. Do I have my next slide? If not, I think I have my next slide. If not, I'll talk about it in a second. Coke is not one of the sponsors, absolutely. Nor is Philip Morris. So what I recommend is sparkling water. So sparkling water has the bubbles, tastes really good cold, has some flavors in it. You know, no calories, get the kind without the chemicals in it. That's a good choice, especially if you're trying to wean yourself off of sodas. You can drink iced tea, herbal iced tea, vegetable blending we talked about. You can do the vegetables and drink that during the day.
Now, doesn't sparkling cause bloating?
I don't think so.
No?
It doesn't for most people. Okay.
Big deal. I want to get off on a tangent. It's a big deal with alcohol.
I don't think there's any validity to it at all.
What kind of water?
Alkaline, right? I think it's just a marketing scheme.
Yeah. I just want to these alcohol and drugs.
Yeah. Mhm. You can also add some fruit or vegetables to your water. Make it plantastic. You know, there's some pineapple, some berries, some lime. Those are all good things to put in your water. Make a big pitcher, put some fruit in it, and that's a good option. Okay, diet sodas. I didn't remember I had that slide here. You know, so I think that they're controversial. In general, they're probably better than sugar sodas, but they're not great. They're probably not as good as water. The problem is the body gets confused when you taste something sweet, signals some chemical signals to your body. You expect sweet things to come to your intestine, in your stomach and your intestine. When it doesn't deliver that, it changes the bacteria in your intestine for more negative bacteria. So there's some studies that suggest that the sodas have negative effect on your bacteria. They're probably not too healthy. Basically, they have two types of diet sodas. One that has Splenda. Splendid, it's in those little Splendid packages. It is 500 times more potent than sugar. So it's really sugar, but it's just really potent. So I don't think that's so bad. It's like sugar. It's a little similar. But the equal, I think, is more worse. Some of the sodas have NutraSweet or equal in it. I think that's worth. I think they're probably safe. They're maybe, in high doses, they're probably not good for you. But I think it's better not to drink them at all, for sure. So they're better than sugar sodas, but try to minimize both. Does that answer your question?
So Diet Dr. Pepper, the Diet Coke.
Right. Yeah,
I've
Right.
seen the ones that have Slim. Taste.
right. What not to eat or buy, stop eating crap. Carbonated drinks, refined sugars, artificial foods, processed foods. So I like this concept about ultra processed foods. You might have heard about this. There's been a lot of press recently. This is the second thing I think people stop. Stop sodas, stop ultra processed foods. They're sort of called junk foods. They're probably basically the same thing as junk foods. I love this picture here. You have a corn. Corn comes from nature, a plant. Basically, the corn is just corn. Take off the husk, eat it. Processed corn is in a can, still corn, it's really the same nutrition as corn, but it's not on the husk anymore, it's cut. So that's still pretty good here. So then you have ultra processed foods, the Doritos. Yes, it has a little bit of corn in it, but not too much. It barely resembles corn. And it has tons of preservatives, sweeteners in it, things to make it taste better. These are the things you should avoid. You go to 7-Eleven or gas station, 95% of the food's ultra processed. You go to a grocery store, probably 50% is ultra processed. The center of the grocery store is usually the ultra processed foods. The edges are more the healthy foods. So unprocessed food, as it would be found in nature, these foods are generally highest in nutrients and fiber. Processed foods that are just canned, frozen, trimmed, or preserved, they still contain essential nutrients. Be careful of added fat and sugar. Ultra processed foods with a thumbs down contains few nutrients and little fiber. These are usually sourced from corn, soy, or wheat with added fat. Many packaged foods fall into this category. This slide shows two categories of foods that are responsible for epidemic of obesity and chronic disease. Processed foods or ultra processed foods with added fat, sugar, and salt, and then the animal products. Again, you don't have to be completely vegan, but the animal products like the ground beef, the processed meats, things like that, they're high in saturated fat and they lead to obesity and chronic disease. The most protective foods are high fiber, whole plant-based foods such as vegetables, fruits, legumes, whole grains, nuts, and seeds. Eat real foods. The hyper-palatable, ultra-processed foods are addicting. Fat, sugar, and salt make us crave more fat, sugar, and salt. Eat foods, not processed chemicals. Eat real foods. The longer the shelf life of a food product, such as neon orange cheese puffs, the shorter the shelf life of the person who consumes it regularly, from David Katz. Avoid empty calories. 323 calories for this thing of French fries, no micronutrients. 32 calories for the broccoli, vitamin K, vitamin B, choline, iron, folate, phosphorus, manganese, and vitamin A. Try to eat those foods that have a lot of micronutrients. Good versus bad carbs. I usually stress low carb diet, but there are good carbs: the whole grain bread, the oatmeal, green vegetables, fruits, low glycemic index. You feel full on lower calories. The bad carbs would be refined grains, sugary cereals, sodas, sugar drinks, cookies, candies, a lot of things like that. Really try to avoid them. Whole food diet would be vegetables, fruits, grains, legumes, roots and tubers, with fungi like mushrooms, nuts and seeds, herbs and spices. Okay, pillar number 2, increase your physical activity. You can do any type of exercise you like. I always ask people what's the best exercise, and the answer is really whatever you like or you can stick with. If I tell you to do Zumba and you'd rather go walking, it's probably not going to work too well. So think of something you like to do. You have certainly the aerobic type of exercises where your pulse goes up and you're sweating. Exercise to improve your strength, flexibility. Balance is a crucial issue. We'll talk about that when we talk about osteoporosis. You know, you want to work on your balance, you don't fall and break a bone. That's more important than taking an expensive drug to try to make your bones a tiny bit stronger with a big amount of side effects. So balance is crucial. You know, just do your activities of daily life, but don't sit the whole day, you know, sit in front of our computers the whole day. Make sure you get up, try to walk around, try to be outside as much as you can. The physical activities for guidelines from the American College of Sports Medicine are good resources. They recommended 150 to 300 minutes of moderate intensity or 75 to 150 minutes of vigorous activity 2 or more days, plus along with 2 or more days of strength training. Only 24% of Americans achieve the recommendations, and 25.4% of Americans are totally inactive. So we want to sort of switch those around. We want to get more people to be following this 150 to 300 minutes of exercise per week and less people being totally inactive. Pillar number 3, improve your sleep. People feel the best when they sleep 7 to 8 hours a night. Factors to consider include stress, substance use such as caffeine and alcohol, the timing of your meals. Many people don't do well when they eat late at night. Medication side effects are very common that affect your sleep. And have a good sleep environment. Make sure your room is quiet, not too hot, not too cold. Yes.
Insufficiency, and then the growth hormone to not be able to sleep.
Yes. So growth hormone deficiency leads to poor sleep, and then you got to get back on your medicines.
Yeah.
Most of the endocrine Cushing's disease, growth hormone deficiency, overactive thyroid, they all lead to poor sleep. So definitely get your hormones optimized, and then do the other things you can to be able to sleep well.
Going back to, I mean, I have it in the refrigerator. I have 3 tubes of refrigerator. Back when they sent it to me monthly, but they tell me, no, let's get your levels as low as low as low.
Okay.
So when we check it, but I'm sleeping from midnight to 4:30.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just really dragging me.
Right.
I could
So
take
you
one
got to
shot.
take your medicines, but you got to do the best you
I
can.
could take one shot and sleep like a baby.
Right. Okay. Definitely.
So that's common.
That's common. Yeah. The National Sleep Foundation recommends 7 to 9 hours of sleep for most adults. 1 in 3 adults don't get enough sleep, and there might even be more. And you should suspect sleep deprivation in a patient that's always tired, complains about daytime sleep, and reports getting less than 7 hours a night. Nurses and other essential workers who get less than 7 hours a night have increased risk of burnout, probably making mistakes, increases your risk of death if you sleep less than 6 hours a night. And I recommend a supplement called melatonin. It works well in many patients. It's pretty low cost. You get a bottle of 100 for about $10 on Amazon. There's the immediate release that helps you fall asleep, and the slow release that helps you stay asleep. It's not a drug. It sort of affects your pineal gland. It has that makes the melatonin. So that would be a good thing to stop, and then talk to your doctor about your medicines if you're not sleeping well.
Number 3.
So I start with 3 milligrams. Some people go up, some people go down, but I think 3 milligrams is a good dose. Yes?
Is it addictive?
No. So people, most people, not 100%, most people, they don't have that morning hangover. The slow release one is more likely to do that. The immediate release one's usually out of your system in an hour or so. And you can stop at any time.
Take half of 5 minutes.
Okay, perfect.
Can I take it with?
Yeah. Yeah, try to get off those medicines like I'm. Managing stress. Stress is everybody. I tried to do a study once and asked for people that didn't have any stress. I couldn't find any people. So it's common. The part is to manage it. Everybody has stress. Avoid things that are stressful. If your mother-in-law stresses you out, don't go visit your mother-in-law if you can help it, things like that. Typical things that people recommend: prayer, forgiveness, journaling, synagogue, church, and mosque visiting. Nature therapy is great for stress. It's hard to be stressed when you're out in beautiful nature. Sunshine, fresh air, rest and renewal. Think about each moment daily, weekly, and annually. Always try to renew yourself. Stress is defined as any demand for change. You want to assist your patients and yourself to recognize maladaptive stress responses and transform these responses that improve into responses that improve health and well-being as part of being lifestyle medicine, stress and lifestyle medicine. You want to teach patients how to avoid stress and how to deal with stress. Stress response is a cascade of physiological events that can lead to improved health and productivity, or if it's overexerted. So everybody should have some stress. A little bit's okay, but a lot is detrimental. These anxiety, depression, obesity, immune dysfunction, and poor health outcomes. Pillar number 5, form and maintain good relationships. These include social support, friends, families, and groups, spiritual support, communing with others. This concept of mois, I don't know if anyone heard about that, from Okinawa, Japan. It's a friendship circle that starts in childhood. These people get together weekly or so, maybe daily, and they offer emotional and moral support, and they have a remarkable effect on people's health. The people of Okinawa, at least were part of the blue zones. They lived to 100, and these moais were a big part of it. So it's really important to form and maintain good relations. The Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy, published in 2023 a manuscript, Our Epidemic of Loneliness and Isolation. People that are isolated and lonely have a 29% increased risk of premature death. That's pretty amazing. 50% higher risk of dementia, 29% higher risk of cardiovascular disease, 32% risk of stroke. Decreasing loneliness can cut the risk for dying early by as much as 50%. Human beings are social beings, and they need a social connection. It's a basic survival urge hardwired into our nervous systems. Social relations are as important as diet, exercise, and smoking. In fact, the quality of our relationships may determine whether or not we choose to engage in healthy lifestyle behaviors, such as the Rosetto effect. I'll talk about this in my next slide. It's a city in Pennsylvania. Unhealthy social relationships, isolation, and loneliness are associated with increased mortality and morbidity, especially among individuals with lifestyle-related diseases such as heart disease, obesity, diabetes. Social connection is as essential to humanity as food, water, or shelter. The advisory says of Dr. Murthy, humans have historically needed to rely on each other for survival, and modern people remain wired for that connection and for proximity to others. So if you don't have friends, if you don't have family members, try to get some. The Rosetto effect. This is a phenomenon by which a close-knit community experience a reduction in heart disease. It's named after Rosetta, Pennsylvania, where the Rosetto effect describes a close-knit community experiences with a reduced rate of heart disease and extended lifespan. Malcolm Gladwell indicates in his book called The Outliers that the high quality of interpersonal relationships was the reason for the Rosetans' long and happy lives. The Rosetto effect was first noticed in 1961 when a local doctor encountered Stuart Wolf, then the head of medicine at the University of Oklahoma, and they discussed over a couple of beers the unusually low rate of myocardial infarctions or heart attacks in the Italian-American community of Rosetta compared to others. Social relations are as important as diet, exercise, and smoking, and this is a crucial part of our health. Pillar number 6, avoid tobacco and others. And I modified this to avoid risky behaviors in general. Dangers, because I think a lot of patients that I deal with don't use tobacco or alcohol, but they might be, or that much illicit drugs, but they might be exposed to pollutants and chemicals. 40 million Americans meet the criteria for addiction to nicotine, alcohol, or drugs. Addiction is characterized by compulsive or uncontrolled use of substance or behavior despite harmful consequences. Another 80 million Americans may not be addicted, but are risky users, more than the number of people with cancer, diabetes, and hypertension. The presence of addiction or risky use doubles risk of overdose, motor vehicle crashes, traumatic injuries, chronic conditions such as arthritis, chronic pain, hypertension, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and asthma. So this is a very important issue. Other things you want to avoid besides the substances, gun safety, suicide prevention, gambling, accident prevention, safe driving, make sure you wear your seatbelts, things like that, and fall prevention. There's other components to this lifestyle that people have proposed. Nature connection, being out in nature is crucial, reducing your smartphone time, spirituality, and lifelong learning. Nature connection is crucial. Studies have shown that viewing a virtual nature video decreased state anxiety and salivary cortisol levels. Viewing nature images led to augmented parasympathetic activity, improved sleep quality. Nature provides benefit to mental health, including stress reduction, improved cognitive function, increased social cohesion. Compared to no contact, the likelihood of reporting good health or high well-being became significantly greater when you were outside in nature for more than 120 minutes per week. Plants make something called phytoncides. These are enhance their immune system, so it also enhances your immune system. They did a study that they piped in these phytoncides from plants versus placebo into a hotel room, and the recipients' T cells went up if they got the phytoncides, but not the placebo. These help prevent asthma and respiratory conditions and help counteract some of the effects of air pollution. Okay, any questions for the 6 pillars? Yes. Good question. I think for some people it's okay, it's good. Some people it's not that good, but I think for certain indications that's the pain has benefits. Anxiety. There's the cannabidiols and the THC in marijuana, the cannabidiol,
Okay, I was going to ask, does CBD affect the absorption of hydrocortisone or any other medications?
Okay.
I had a gastric bypass, and you were talking about avoiding meats and eating them in the plant-based diet. How to have more protein, not to have a lot of protein. So I have to have meats. Really.
So there are plant-based proteins. So garbanzo beans, soy, tempeh, all those have a high amount of plant-based proteins that have been found to be healthier. And then within the meat category of proteins, chicken and fish is definitely more healthy than ground beef and steaks and things with a lot of fat in it. Good, if you want. I want to give you advice.
The lean steak be like pork chunk or something? That's the lean.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, maybe a little bit.
Getting off on the rabbit trail here, but you also don't like, you don't have to take photonics. And I know that you say that photonics, you shouldn't be on photonics with taking, your medications, your thyroid medications. And
So it's probably better to separate, but it's not that big of a deal. If you have to take it, you have to take it. Those medicines are really designed for short-term use, and they lead to osteoporosis.
Barrett's esophagus, what do you recommend?
If you have to take it, you have to take it. Yes.
I don't know, did you mention eggs or?
I didn't talk about dairy products or eggs. I think they're sort of in the middle category. They're not great, they're not bad. I think red meat is worse. Eggs are low calorie, high protein, no fat. Try to eat the whites better than the yellow part.
I try to follow Mediterranean, but they don't
Right.
allow a lot of eggs.
Right, so I think eggs are reasonable. Dairy products also, probably try to minimize.
And based on what you said about processed foods, would like prepackaged popcorn be processed food? If it's just popcorn?
No, probably not. So, the problem with the popcorn is a lot of them have this like fake butter in them that has like
Right.
a million chemicals and has a lot of calories. Try to avoid that, I would say.
But if it's the kind that's like 100 calories or
Right.
less.
But, just pop your own popcorn, just buy it.
Right.
Popcorn and just pop it yourself is probably better.
So I think-
On Amazon,
Oh, there you
you
go.
got a silicone popper for
Here,
Mhm.
Awesome.
Yeah, they said microwave popcorn and butter on it, yeah, you're like 6 times more likely to get dementia.
Really?
It's really bad. That's really bad.
Yeah.
Right, but I get plain microwave popcorn, stick it in, I put seasoning on it.
You need just, you use just herbs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I do.
And also, I know we talked about gut health, do you recommend probiotic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no,
Like, I'm not a
I don't
good
really talk
yogurt
about,
eater.
right, I don't talk about probiotics much, supplements in general, but I think maybe them are good.
Well, I was gonna ask, you know.
Let me just answer a question. So, there's a big emphasis now on fermented foods, like sauerkraut, miso, I heard election, kimchi, I think those are becoming more popular because they have, positive effect on the microbiome.
I try to eat pickles, things like that, because.
Okay.
Well, that's what I was trying to ask about probiotics, because being immune compromised, I mean, I know it's affecting, like you said, your microbiome, your gut bacteria. I just wasn't sure if there was any, possibility for like a negative, for like more resistant bacteria to develop or anything like that.
I have a hormone doctor that comes up, it's not prescription, what is the good, the bacteria that you can buy, probacteria that you can buy, that they keep in the refrigerator, the cooler back there.
Right, so they have, probiotics, they need to be refrigerated, they're more live.
It's in the pharmacy, we have to order it.
Mhm.
What is
For
it?
probiotics.
Yeah, it's a probiotic, but you have to keep it in the refrigerator and then you have to order it.
Yeah.
It's like $38, and they have different ones back at the pharmacy. I can't remember the name of it is. It's probably the best. I've always been like that.
Well, GP told me about something called PB8, like peanut butter, PB8.
Mhm.
It has only 8, but you have to get it online. I couldn't find it.
Okay.
But you don't stay on probiotics for forever.
A lot of people do, I think it's okay. Better than the photonics. Stay on. But again, if you sort of eat a lot of healthy foods, you naturally get them.
Right.
But you have good bacteria as it is. If you eat a bunch of crap,
It's not
you don't.
rabbit trail, but if your estrogen is low, then you're at risk for osteoporosis.
Yeah.
Correct.
Correct.
That's what I'm for you.
Right.
Get my endocrinologist to prescribe estrogen, so I can get a hormone replacement.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about the blue zones. I think it's really fascinating. So I love doing research on this. It's really cool. They were founded by an inventor and author, Dan Buettner, an explorer who once circled the globe on his bicycle, which I'm a bike rider, to earn 3 Guinness Book of World Records. He worked for National Geographic. He discovered 5 places in the world, the blue zones, and that's because they put a map and he's like circled with blue pens for some reason. So that's how I got the term blue zones, where people live the longest and are the healthiest. And we'll try to talk about what they have in common: all stress, social relations, eating, practical healthy eating, and physical activity. The 5 blue zones, and we'll show them on a map on the next slide: Ikaria, which is the island off of Turkey, it's part of Greece; Loma Linda, my backyard in California; Nicoya in Costa Rica; Sardinia in Italy; and Okinawa in Japan. Concept of the blue zones really stresses people, places, and policy. You want these areas have good policy that encourage people healthy. They have healthy people, and they have their healthy places. So this is a map here. Again, the name blue zones derived simply during the original survey by scientists. He used a blue pen on the map to mark the villages with long-lived populations. You can see Loma Linda over there, Nicola, Costa Rica over there, Sardinia, Italy, off the coast of Italy, the Ikaria, Greece, off the coast of Turkey, and Okinawa, Japan. We'll start with Sardinia. Sardinia people have these things in common. They eat a lean plant-based meat accented with meat, a lean plant-based diet accented with meat. The classic Sardinian diet consists of whole grain bread, beans, garden vegetables, fruits, In some parts of the island, mastic oil. Sardinians also traditionally eat a type of cheese called the Corino cheese, made with grass-fed sheep. There's all the sheep just migrate around the island. The cheese is high in omega-3 fatty acids. Meat is largely reserved for Sundays and special occasions. Sardinians put family first. They have a strong family values. They picture them sitting together at a table. Every member of the family is cared for. People who live in strong, healthy families suffer lower rates of depression, suicide, and stress. They drink goat's milk. A glass of goat's milk contains components that help to protect against inflammatory diseases of aging, such as heart disease and Alzheimer's, and they celebrate their elders. Grandparents can provide love, child care, financial help, wisdom, and expectations, motivation to perpetuate traditions and push children to succeed in their lives. This may all add up to healthier, better adjusted, and longer lived children, and may give the overall population a life expectancy bump. They can walk a lot. Walking 5 miles or more a day, as Sardinian shepherds do, provides all the cardiovascular benefits you might expect, and has positive effects on bone and muscle metabolism without the joint pounding problems with marathons and triathlons. They drink a glass or two of red wine. Sardinians drink wine moderately. Cananoa wine has 2 to 3 times the levels of artery scrubbing flavonoids as other wines. Moderate wine consumption may explain the lower levels of stress among men. They laugh with friends. Men in the Blue Zones are famous for their sardonic sense of humor. They gather in the street each afternoon to laugh with each other, with and at each other. Laughter reduces stress, which can lower one's risk of cardiovascular disease. Okay, Akaria, Greece. You can see it over there off of the coast of Turkey. It's an island. It's a very mountainous island. They mimic mountain living. The longest living Icarians tend to be poor people living in the island's highlands. They exercise mindlessly by just gardening, walking to neighbors' houses, or doing their own yard work. The lesson to us: engineer more mindless movements into their life. So they don't think they're exercising. They're just going to visit a neighbor, but they're really exercising. Eat a Mediterranean style diet. Koreans eat a variation of the Mediterranean diet with lots of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, beans, potatoes, and olive oil. Try cooking with olive oil, which has cholesterol lowering monounsaturated fats. They stock up on herbal teas. People in Ikaria drink herbal teas with family and friends, and scientists have found they have a lot of antioxidants. Wild rosemary, sage, and oregano teas also act as a diuretic, which can keep blood pressure in check by reducing excess sodium in water. And taking a nap. Take a cue from Icarians and have a mid-afternoon break. People who nap regularly have up to 35% lower chance of dying from heart disease. It may be because napping lowers stress hormones or rests the heart. Icarians have traditionally been fierce Greek Orthodox Christians. Their religious calendar called for fasting almost half the year. Caloric restriction, a type of fasting that cuts about 30% of calories out of the normal diet, is the only proven way to slow the aging process of mammals. Make family and friends a priority. Icarians foster social connections, which have been shown to benefit overall health and longevity. So go out there and make some plans. Choose goat's milk over cow's milk instead of cow's milk. Icarians use grass-fed goat's milk. It provides potassium and stress-relieving hormone tryptophan. It is also hypoallergenic and can be usually tolerated by people that are lactose intolerant. Okay, Nicoya, Costa Rica is this peninsula in sort of northern Costa Rica off of the Pacific Ocean. They have a plan de vida. Successful centenarians in Nicoya have a strong sense of purpose. They feel needed and want to contribute to the greater good. They drink hard water. Nicoya water has the highest calcium content, probably explaining lower rates of heart disease, as well as stronger bones and fewer hip fractures. So I don't recommend eating, calcium pills, but if it's in your water or in your food, it's probably healthy. They have a keen focus on family. They tend to live with their families, and children and grandchildren provide support and a sense of purpose and belonging. They eat a light dinner. Eating fewer calories appears to be one of the surest ways to add years to your life. Nicoyans eat a light dinner early in the evening. For most of their lives, Nicoyan centenarians ate a traditional Mesoamerican diet highlighted by the 3 sisters of agriculture: squash, corn, and beets. They maintain social networks. Nicoyan centenarians get frequent visits from the neighbors. They learn how to listen, laugh, and appreciate what they have. They keep hard at work. Centenarians seem to have enjoyed physical work all their lives. They find joy in everyday physical chores. and they get some sensible sun, according regularly taking sunshine, which helps our bodies produce vitamin D for strong bones and healthy body function. Vitamin D deficiency is associated, it's not causal, with a host of problems such as osteoporosis, heart disease, but regular smart skin exposure, such as 15 minutes on the legs and arms, can supplement one's diet and make sure you get enough of this vital nutrient. Okay, now we go to my backyard of Loma Linda. You can see that it's off of Los Angeles here. Find a sanctuary in time. People from Loma Linda are usually Seventh-day Adventists. They take a Sabbath, a weekly break from the rigors of daily life. The 24-hour Sabbath provides a time to focus on family, God, camaraderie, and nature. Adventists claim that this reduces their stress, strengthens social networks, and provide constant exercise. They maintain a healthy body index. Adventists with healthy body mass index, meaning they have appropriate weight for their heights, will keep active and eat meat sparingly, if at all, have lower blood pressure, lower blood cholesterol, and less cardiovascular disease than higher Americans. They get regular healthy exercise. The Adventist Health Survey, which has been studies for decades of the people that live in Loma Linda and are Seventh-day Adventists, shows that you don't need to be a marathoner to maximize your life expectancy. Getting regular, low-intensity exercise, like daily walks, appears to reduce your chance of having heart disease and certain cancers. Spend time with like-minded friends. Adventists seem to spend a lot of time with other Adventists. They find well-being by sharing their values and supporting each other's habits. And they snack on nuts. Adventists who consume nuts at least 5 times a week have about half the risk of heart disease and live about 2 years longer than those who don't. At least 4 studies have confirmed that eating nuts has a positive impact on health and life expectancy. Give something back, like many faiths, the Seventh-day Adventist Church encourages and provides opportunities for its members to volunteer. They eat meat in moderation. Most Adventists follow a vegan diet or vegetarian diet. Studies, the American Heart Study showed that consuming vegetables and fruits and whole grains seem to be protective against a variety of cancers. The rate of cancers of these patients are very low. For those that do eat meat, they recommend small portions served as a side dish rather than their main meal. Eat an early light dinner. Eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, dinner like a pauper. American nutritionist Adele Davis is said to have recommended an attitude recommended by the Adventists. A light dinner early in the evening avoids flooding the body with calories during the inactive parts of the day. It seems to promote better sleep and lower BMI. And put more plants in your diet and support the biblical diet of grains, fruits, nuts, and vegetables. Adventists cite Genesis 1:29. God said, "Behold, I have given you every herb-bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which the fruit of the tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat." The Adventists encourage a well-balanced diet, including nuts, fruits, legumes, low in sugar, salt, and refined grains. Yes.
What do you think about this, you've had a intermittent fasting?
Yeah. So I think a lot of it makes sense of what these people do. So, you eat your food over a condensed period of time. Most people eat too much at night and they graze. There was a study done, it was a famous study, where they had people track on like an app on their phone when they ate. So you would expect most people would eat sort of like around 7 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock at lunch, and 6 o'clock at dinner, but it wasn't the case at all. People were eating throughout the day and throughout the night. There's people like in the middle 3 in the morning pushing their phone that they're eating. And then what they did is they had those people not eat after 9 o'clock and before 7 in the morning, same amount of calories, same amount of food, and they lost weight, they slept better, their energy was better, their A1C went down. So just this idea about not grazing throughout the day. So the people, the intermittent fasting, the idea, either, you eat like in the morning or eat in the afternoon, but you don't eat throughout the day. And I think there is some validity to that. Some people get really hungry and then they pick out during that window when they're eating. That's not good. So I think it partially is a way to reduce your calories, and partially it's a way to have, to have this period where you're not eating.
Facts about go-to grades go.
Oh, really? Cool.
Grade 7. The fat globules in goat's milk are small and easily digestible in humans, whereas cow's milk are not meant to. Cow's milk they are much larger, and goat's milk is the closest animal milk to human.
Really? Oh, cool.
That's why a lot of people who are lactose intolerant can really well, especially raw goat's milk. It's not good. processed or pasteurized.
well,
It's hard to find stores that sell raw milk or raw goats, you know, it's easy to as a silly person. Is it illegal or have to fly up and control them? It depends on where you live. It depends on the state. Just, you know, with it not being large enough to even.
pasteurized.
But it's better for you.
Yeah.
And you would want to find something. Nice. Dairy.
Right. But I think even pasteurized is probably better than cow's milk, or it's probably still healthy for most people. And, you know, you still are worried about, you know, infections and things like that, the pasteurization helps.
And there's a lot of infants who have successfully, have grown successfully on.
Yep.
Goats milk. I'm one of them.
Yeah, cool.
So what about things like almond milk, oat milk?
But yeah, they're plant-based, you know, it's probably better than.
It's higher in calcium than regular.
Right.
Because I think about my bone health.
Right, good.
But it's lower in protein.
Right. The only thing is they have a lot of sugar in them, so some of them, you know, it's not high fructose corn syrup, but it is added sugar. So, you know, she has a continuous glucose monitor, you know, so I was having my continuous glucose monitor, and I was checking, you know, my foods, and one day I drank some chocolate soy milk, and it just shot up to 200, so it does have a lot of sugar. You got a question back there? Okay. Okay, the last blue zone, Okinawa. Okinawa is off Japan. It's famous for a big battle in World War II, which I'm not sure I know exactly what it was, but the Okinawans fought bravely for their territory, made them stronger. They live on a plant-based diet. Older Okinawans have eaten a plant-based diet most of their lives. Their meals of stir-fried vegetables, sweet potatoes, and tofu are high in nutrients and low in calories. Goya, which is with its antioxidants and compounds that lower blood sugar. I think it's a type of sweet potato. Centenarian Okinawans do eat some pork. It's traditionally reserved for infrequent ceremonial occasions and only taken in small amounts. They garden. Almost all Okinawans, centenarians grew or once grew a garden. It's a source of daily physical activity that exercises the body with a wide range of motions and help reduce stress. It is a near constant source of fresh vegetables. You have a garden, you're doing pretty well. Eat more soy. Okinawan's diet is rich in foods made with soy, like tofu and miso soup. Flavonoids in tofu may protect the heart and guard against breast cancer. Fermented soy foods contribute to a healthy intestinal ecology and offer even better nutritional benefits. Maintain a moai, we talked about at the beginning. Okinawan tradition of forming a moai, which is a circle of friends that's lifelong, provides secure social networks. These safety nets lend financial and emotional support in times of need and give all their members the stress-shedding security of knowing there's always somebody there for them. Right. So it's these circles of the friendships that these have. So it's like maybe if people gather with common friends. Goya, I'm not sure. I think it might be a type of sweet potato. We're not 100% sure. Yes.
So, in thinking about a plant-based diet,
Mhm.
I can't figure out how to get calcium. When I look at how to get calcium from plants, you have to eat about that much.
No, I'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. So broccoli, chard, greens, they have tons of spinach. They have tons of calcium, even more than your milk does. Yeah. So we'll talk about that, but that's a myth. Enjoy the sunshine. Vitamin D produced by the body when it's exposed to on a regular basis. Sunshine provides strong bones, healthy bodies. Spend time outside each day. Allows senior Okinawans to have the optimal vitamin D levels year round. Stay active. Older Okinawans are active walkers and gardeners. An Okinawan household has very little furniture. Residents take meals and relax sitting on tatami mats on the floor. The fact that old people get up and down off the floor several times a day builds lower body strength and balance. We help prevent them against dangerous falls. Plant the medical garden. Mugwort, ginger, and turmeric are all staples of the Okinawan garden and all have proven medicinal qualities. By consuming these every day, Okinawans are protecting themselves against illness. Have an attitude, a hardship-tempered attitude from probably being in World War II, has endowed Okinawans with an affable smugness. They're able to lead difficult early lives. Early years remain in the past, while they enjoy today's simple pleasures. They learn to be likable and to keep young people in their company well into their old age. However, tragically, Okinawa is no longer considered a blue zone, according to Dan Butner. On the Rich Roll podcast in March 2020, Butner revealed that due to the introduction of the Western diet, you can see a street of Okinawa over here. Okinawa has suffered the worst degeneration of all 5 blue zones and now has higher rates of obesity and diabetes of the original 5 blue zones. So it's probably going to be taken off the list, but maybe they'll turn it around. And my guess is Colorado's going to replace it. I think Colorado people have sort of like a blue zone, but we'll see. So common themes: move naturally, have the right outlook, purpose now, downshift, eat wisely, 80% of your plants, wellness, belonging, right tribe, community, loved ones first. So what do these have in common? Family. We say that family is everything, but the people in the blue zones truly use it as a key to longevity. Going beyond the traditional nuclear family, they keep close to their grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins. Many of them live in walking distance, and with such a large support group nearby, it's no wonder that people in the blue zones live a healthier, happy life. Have a purpose in your life. If you don't have a reason to get out of bed in the morning, you're not living the blue zone life. Whether it's a job, team, garden, or family, to tend to longevity in the blue zone is traced back to having a purpose. By both having one or more purposes and devoted each day to them, life is worth living. Take it down a notch. Keeping up with the Joneses may be an American staple of life, but it is a rarity in the blue zones. In fact, working less hours, taking more breaks, and finding time to rest all contribute to longevity in the region. In fact, they are often known to vacation much more than a typical 2 weeks. Social network. This doesn't mean Facebook or online playing. It means an actual real social network. Whether this is a sports team, volunteering, or even sewing circle, having lots of friends can lead to longevity. It also gives you a purpose and something to look forward to. And if you need help, try to volunteer in your spiritual environment. Believing in God is important, and having a spiritual life is a common theme of the blue zones. Not only does it give a purpose, but also a sense of community and belonging. The power of prayer has also been shown to have positive health effects. Family dinners, not just a staple for family-oriented sitcoms. The family dinner can actually have longevity benefits. Not only does everybody should share in the preparing, eating, and cleaning after a meal, but since the food is prepared at home, no extra additives or anything harmful make it into the food. High plant diet. We've been told for years that fruits and vegetables are important, part of your diet. In the blue zones, they seem to be the secret to longevity. In a study by Dr. Merkin, 70% of those eating the high plant-based diet had normal blood pressures compared to 45% on the fruits and vegetables diet alone, and 23% on a controlled diet. Since fruits and vegetables diet alone wasn't necessarily a healthy diet. Because each plant protein has different nutritional properties, it is difficult to tell how much longevity you expect, but in general, people on the plant-based diet have lower rates of cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. Pomegranate juice is an interesting thing. It took $25 million of research in the United States to learn a secret in the blue zones. Pomegranate juice can lead to heart health, prostate health, and proper erectile function. An excellent alternative to red wine for similar antioxidant activities, properties. Bicycling, one of my favorite sports. I did go bicycling last night before I hopped on my plane. It's not only good for the planet, it's good for keeping your gas bills down. It can also lead to longevity. People in the blue zone are often known to bicycle to the houses of families with friends, the market, and more. It's also easier on the joints, and it's a relaxing experience. And if you want to read more or hear more, there is a Netflix series called Live to 100, The Secrets of Blue Zones. I listened to about half of it when I did my slides. It's really good. It's got inspired by it. Recommend it highly. Okay, we're going to close by talking about osteoporosis. We're concerned about your bone health. A lot of people are concerned about your bone health. So this might be a little different take than might be what you've heard. And then we'll go into the exercise. Osteoporosis or thinning the bones is the big industry in the United States, with millions of dollars spent on testing and treatments that are expensive and have side effects. Of course, nobody wants to have a bone fracture. Is these medicines needed, or is there a simple solution to help preserve bone health? And the key point is the main reason elderly get fractures is by falling. So certainly you want to keep your bones strong, but if you can prevent falling, that's the most important thing. And the current medicines for osteoporosis, the pharmaceutical interventions versus lifestyle medicine, the current medicines are older ones, one's called alendronate. They work modestly well, but you have to take them standing up. You have to take them every week or every day for a half hour. Otherwise, you can get esophageal and stomach problems. They're usually given once a week. They're inexpensive, but they can lead to depression. And it also leads to what's called atypical fractures. So this is not what you want to get. So typical fractures, you fall, you break your hip because you fell, you landed bad. Atypical fractures, your femur, your main bone in your leg, just cracks in half. You're not doing anything. So to me, that's much worse. They occur without trauma and usually in the large bone of the thigh called the femur bone. The last thing somebody wants is an atypical fracture where your bone just snaps in half without it fall. The risk of these atypical fractures is quite high, actually, although it's less than the amount of typical fractures prevented by the medicine, but I think it's a serious side effect. There's also this whole issue about dental problems, and I think it's sort of murky, but in general, the alendronate should be held if you have dental procedures, not just a filling, but, if you're doing an implant or something like that, you need to talk to your oral surgeon. Then there's another new medicine, the newer medicines, the alendronate's an older medicine. The newer medicines are very expensive. They're often not covered by insurance. They have side effects. The most common one is called Prolia. It's a shot twice a year. Doctor's office, you don't give it home. It's associated with those atypical fractures again. It's quite expensive. There's another one called Forteo, which is a daily shot. It helps build up bone, but it also has a lot of side effects. So what about the old calcium and vitamin D? Recent studies suggest that calcium pills, which are used to strengthen the bones, is actually detrimental overall and leads to a higher rate of heart disease. The detrimental effects of calcium on the heart outweigh the beneficial effects. And I changed where I work out to no longer recommend calcium supplementation for people in my system. And I think in general, people should no longer take calcium by pills. Vitamin D supplementation does seem to help prevent fractures to a small degree. It's probably beneficial, but not a huge effect. No problem.
Vitamin D3 or K2.
I'll talk about that. I think K2 is excellent. And vitamin D3 is good. Yeah.
For me, with someone who has not diabetic, I really bad first gastric bypass, hypoglycemia,
Okay.
lower back.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just saying,
Okay.
I don't get out and exercise enough, so,
Mhm.
and having
Yes.
a low estrogen and having,
Right. You got to start.
low bone density,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I take vitamin D3, K2, and
Good.
see what else I can take.
Start exercising. Just push yourself. Get out. Walk.
You said it.
Yep. Push yourself. So exercise has been shown to increase bone density, helps with muscle strength, helps prevent falls, and that's the major reason why people break their bones. So I recommend a combination of aerobic and weight-bearing exercise. The Blue Zone people do a lot of gardening. That's great. You can do walking. I love walking. Just go out and walk. Listen to your podcast while you walk. Call a friend up. Walk with a friend. Walk with your dog. Walking's the best. You could do more strenuous exercise depending on your health, but I think everybody should start with walking. I think this is going to be the best thing for really people to prevent fractures. Now, this is surprising. I learned this last year from my conference. You should try to get your calcium from plant sources. Many studies have now shown that dairy products actually increase fracture rates. They don't decrease it, they increase it. Countries that have high consumption of milk products have a high rate of fracture. Countries that have high consumption of non-dairy-based, plant-based calcium, such as broccoli, kale, and spinach. These have a lot of calcium. That's a better source of calcium. The countries that have that as their intake of calcium have less fracture rates. And on an individual level, this has definitely been shown to help reduce fractures. So plant-based calcium. These can also include tofu, fortified nut milk, the almond milk that we talked about over here, soy milk, things like that. I sort of think almond milk is a little better than soy milk, but I'm not that sure why.
What about coconut?
Coconut milk. Coconut milk is probably good. I don't know if it has much calcium though. The calcium in these fortified almond milks, I think it's added, but it's still maybe sort of mixed in more. tahini, beans, sweet potatoes, watercress, okra, chia seeds. Chia seeds have tons of calcium in them, and almonds. So overall, I recommend preventing falls by increasing exercise and eating a plant-based diet. Have a fall prevention approach. Make sure you don't have loose carpet. Make sure you hold the railing when you go up and down the stairs or up and down people's front lawns. Really try to be preventive. This guy, Michael Greger, talked to my Merck College of Lifestyle Medicine. He just Google him. He has tons of these videos on many things in lifestyle medicine related. He's a very smart guy. I really like him. It's called Nutrition Facts. And he has a lot of videos on osteoporosis and a lot of his information I got from him. Okay, Evelyn, you're there?
I'm here.
Okay, so my friend, co-worker Evelyn Martinez and Martin Luther King going to do some exercise. So I think we might start sitting. She'll let us know. Go ahead, Evelyn. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Can't do it, but please try your best.
Maybe, do you think you can turn your computer so I can see everybody?
You can try.
Let me see, bring it down a little bit.
How's that?
Oh, that's a bit good. Hi, everybody. So
Hi.
I'm Evelyn Martinez. I help Dr. Friedman with his Power Obesity group. We have one every Monday here at 1 o'clock. We exercise with our patients who are pending bariatric surgery. We exercise for about 30 minutes. I kind of try to teach them some stretching because they complain of a lot of pain. I teach them to do a little bit of strength training, very simple exercises, and then we hit some common areas to stretch for pain control, like the knee and the hips and the spine. And then we do a little dancing and aerobics on a chair, and sometimes we stand up and do some exercises like that. So I'm gonna do a short version for that for you guys, and then at the end I'll show you my flyer. And the good thing about this is that I have a nonprofit, and all of this stuff is free. If you guys have patients that need any training, any movement, any exercise, you know, that's our mission, to help patients in poor communities start to exercise. So that's my nonprofit. I'll give you guys a flyer at the end, and I'll give you a little tidbit today. So if you guys are all there, I want you guys to all sit, maybe pushed back on your tables, and give each other enough space in arm position like this, so that you don't,
We don't see you though.
swing anybody.
Make you co-host.
Say that again?
Do I need to make you a co-host?
Yes, you do.
Nice.
I'm hoping the music works, because I had to log on to the county system. Sometimes it acts weird, but I hope the music works. It should work. Make sure my screen if I can.
Here we go.
I'm gonna have to share my music. Hold on.
We don't see you yet. You have your camera on?
I do. The camera's on. Let me just share my music really quick.
Oh, I'm sharing. Let me stop sharing. Here we go. Okay. Still don't see you.
Let me get out of here. It says the Zoom, this will stop
There we
others.
go. There we go. Okay, you're here. You're ready. Go ahead.
Okay, so everybody, Everybody, turn it around again so I can see everybody.
Okay. I will make it full screen. How's that?
Good.
Volume
Our high tech
Yeah, everyone, turn up your volume if you can.
off.
Up, up.
Oh, I don't know how to do that. I don't, let me see. Let me turn it up a bit.
Okay.
Is that better?
This is the best.
Is that better?
back.
That's as high as it'll go. I'll speak louder.
Okay, speak as loud as you can.
Okay. So sit on the hip chair, bring in your belly button in towards you. Rise up your spine. Feel like somebody's pulling on your head, shoulders back, palms towards me. And take a nice deep breath in through your nose and then out through your mouth. Real slow, big in through your nose. Out. Nice and slow. Do it again. In through your nose. Out through your mouth. Feel the rise in your chest. In through the nose one more time. And out through the mouth, nice and slow. Stretch out those fingers. Stretch them out as much as you can. Palms up. Straighten out those elbows, chest up, and bring it all the way up. And if you can, have those palms touch. Good, and then bring it down. And we're gonna coordinate the breath at the next one. We're gonna breathe in again, same thing, palms up, chest up. And then bring it down, palms down, breath out through the mouth. Last time, in. And out. Right here, we're gonna make a little cactus. And we're gonna take our hands, palms are towards me, and just take them back as far back as you can. And we're gonna go for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Stretch it out again. Straighten out those elbows and grab that chair. Open up your legs, open them a little wider. Relax your belly. Chest up, shoulders back, chin up. Now take a deep breath right there. In and out. In and out again. And last time, in and out. Good, and we're gonna release and work our shoulders for about 4 times, a little big and exaggerated for 1, 2, 3, and 4, and bring it forward. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Good. Bring it elbow, bring it all the way up to the back of your head. Stretch it out. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Bring that other elbow behind your head if you can. Try not to bend the head forward. Keep your chest up. Keep your belly button in and stretch that elbow for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Good. We're gonna open up in a big T. Grab that chair. And with your shoulder right here, bring that shoulder as far back as you can and reach for me. Reach big for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Head back, and then you're gonna reach as far back as you can. Keep that spine straight for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Release and bring it back. We're gonna do the other side. You open it up. You bring the arm back. I'm bending my elbow there and bringing my shoulder as back as I can. I'm bringing this forward for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Head back. And then just let your arm go and your head go as much as it can. Straighten out that spine for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Good. And then we bring it forward. You're gonna bring your knee up and hug as much as you can. If you have trouble with your knees, put your arm under your thigh. Good, and hug yourself there for another 5 seconds for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and turn that ankle, circle it on one side, and then circle it to the other. Good. And I'm gonna make a nice little 4 figure here. If that's too hard, you can straighten out the leg and put your 4 figure there. I'm gonna stretch out this hip, gonna bring down the leg for 1. I'm gonna have my arm right under that knee, right on top of that knee, and I'm just gonna push down. My body naturally wants to curl right here, so we're gonna make it come up, good, and press down on that knee. I'm holding my ankle for support. My hips aren't the greatest. They're not very flexible, so I always have a hard time here. For 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you want to add a little bit more, I usually add in that elbow. I bring down my weight and I relax right there so that my hips can stretch. For 1, 2, 3, and 4. Good. We're going to do the other side. This will be our last stretch. I'm going to hug my knee. Once again, if you're hurting too much on that knee, you bring it where it's comfortable. In your chest, open up that chest, straighten up that spine, circle that ankle for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Turn it around. 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to make a figure 4. I'm going to bring in my arm, my hand right here on the inner part of my knee, and I'm going to press. Press down. For 1, you should feel that stretch right there on your hip. Be mindful of your spine. 3 and 4, a bigger stretch right here if you can with that elbow. Bring it down. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Good. All right, I'm gonna attempt to show you guys some music. I don't know if it'll work. If it doesn't work, we'll just do maybe some strength, maybe like 2 minutes of strength training. I'm hoping this will work because it wasn't working right now. I'm going to share my screen. Share my audio. I'm also going to share my, you guys can see me okay? I'm going to turn up my music.
It's my time, it's my life. I can do what I like for the price of a smile. I gotta take it to ride so I can trust the feel.
I don't know. I think I lost you guys. I can't see you guys anymore. You guys see me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I lost you guys. I can't see you guys anymore. I don't know what I did. You see me?
We see you and we see ourselves, so.
But somehow, like I'm in the county system and then my computer system came and I can't go back to you guys, but I can't see you guys. You guys can see me okay?
Yes.
Have the music.
Did you guys hear that music?
Yes.
Did you hear that? I can't hear you anymore. Did you guys hear that music?
Yes.
Yes.
because I can just play it and I don't have to see you, and then I could just do it.
Yeah.
Can you, did you hear my music or you weren't able to?
Yes, we heard
I
your,
played it for like a few seconds.
yes. Go ahead.
I don't, so I'm gonna
Yeah, Evan,
play
go
it and let
ahead.
me know if you hear it.
We hear it,
I
go
got
ahead.
Like I feel, I like how it feels. I like how it
I mean,
feels.
I don't think your reception's that good. Maybe go back on the
I like
television.
how it feels. Let's make a beautiful world. Take my hand, it's alright. Cause tonight we can fly. We can pretend cause it feels right. And it's so nice. And I do it all again. This time it's forever. It gets better. And I like how it feels. 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 Mediocre, yeah. I want my bank account like Carter State or at least mediocre. Because you don't like how it feels.
Okay.
Turn off the music. Hold on. Then somehow I gotta get back to you guys.
Okay, thank you so
But
much.
that was it. Let me, I'll give you guys my website, and you're welcome, my email too, and you guys are welcome to refer any patients
These are patients. They're already patients.
over. You know, we have free classes of exercise for yoga, for Zoom, for HIIT and Zumba, to offer our patients, because I know it's hard for them. And sometimes at home it could be easier. There's
Okay, people are leaving, come back at 11 for the next. Isn't it
You're
right?
welcome. Bye, you guys.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Evelyn.
Thank you.
I got one more slide here. Let me just finish. Okay, so at the beginning, we talked about, your surveys. Think about what today's talk hopefully inspired you, how you're gonna do better, how you're gonna get your goals. Think of some goals you want to do for your lifestyle to help you with your health condition. And see, next year you'll be stronger, better, healthier. And I got one more slide, I think. What is your greatest takeaway from the session? Thank you, and thank you everybody for participating. Who runs the Best Pituitary Conference? Magic. Thanks to Diane for putting on this great conference. It's been great so far. This is my website here. The talks will be on my website, my YouTube channel, on Facebook, and we're doing podcasts also. So you can go on your podcast, favorite podcast channel, Spotify, Apple, things like that. And this will be ready in a couple of days. So what time will we be back, Shauna? 10:45. Okay. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank